Hallo Freunde. Ich finde, Hallo Freunde ist mein neues, mein Intro. Das habe ich jetzt schon öfter verwendet und es hört sich sehr freundlich an. Selbst wenn nicht alle von euch meine Freunde sind, das hört sich trotzdem so an, als wären sie es. Extrem raffiniert und psychologisch gewieft, nicht wahr? Naja, seit ich dieses Spiel spiele, hat sich mein Verstand ja auch um einiges nach vorne entwickelt. Drücke ich mal X.
Where are you going, Holmes? Have you been invited somewhere?
We have been invited, Watson,
We have. Where to?
to the Baker Street Irregulars' annual dinner. They sent us an invitation. It is on the table.
A dinner. How could those street urchins afford anything like that? I can't understand your interest in them, Holmes. They're dirty. They wouldn't hesitate to steal your wallet.
Watson, you should be excited. It is a secret dinner. Its location changes every year. Read the menu. Sounds mouth-watering.
All right. We, the secret police of Baker Street, invite you, Sherlock Holmes, and Dr. Watson to our annual dinner. Menu, entree, frozen rat head salad. Is this a joke?
Not at all. Pray continue.
Main course, sow's udder in Danny Nutcracker's way. Sounds disgusting, Holmes. Hedgehog goulash. Street turnips in homemade juice. And it goes on.
Ah, I can hear them on the stairs now.
Oh, we can't go there. We can't eat that.
Watson, you'll hurt the feelings of those poor children. We have to go.
Oh, Mr. Holmes.
It is fine, Mrs. Hudson.
Mr. Holmes!
Wiggins, Dr. Watson is getting ready. He will be delighted to join us. You don't look well, my young man. Is there something wrong? Don't tell me the dinner is cancelled.
Mr. Holmes is my brother Leighton. He's in a prison cell. They say he's killed 2 men. You have to help us, Mr. Holmes, 'cause I know he didn't do it.
Where is he now?
From what I've heard, they took him to the yard and they gave him a good beating already. You know what they're like. They'll hang him. They won't look any further.
Holmes, we have to help him.
And forget about the dinner? Wiggins, I'll take the case.
You're fantastic, Mr. Holmes. I'll be waiting for you at the crime scene. You'll be there, right? It's on Half Moon Street in Whitechapel.
Very well.
Ja, ich bin auch eher froh, dass wir da hingehen und nicht zu irgendwelchen Rattenköpfen, die wir essen. Aber selbstredend werden wir zuerst zum Tatort schreiten. Wobei beides auch Sinn machen könnte. Zuerst seine persönlichen Gegenstände angucken und danach zum Tatort. Aber naja, Tatort ist immer spannender. Vor allem, wenn da Leichen liegen.
Holmes, poor little Wiggins.
Oh, er sagt sogar diesmal was anderes. Aber ich habe ihn trotzdem unterbrochen, weil kein Bock auf so einen Scheiß. Was? Oh nein. Schon wieder so eine Szene, wo man aus der Szene aus Versehen rausläuft. Ach, stimmt. Ego-Perspektive. Viel besser. So muss ich mir auch keine Sorgen machen, dass ich jemals meine Frisur ändern muss. Oh.
Please, gentlemen, leave the scene now. Oh, Mr. Holmes. Is that you?
Good evening, Constable...
Constable Marrow. I was here with Inspector Aberline during the Ripper case, Mr. Holmes, back in '88. But then this is nothing like that case. With this one, we've got the murderer, the weapon, and the statements, which speak for themselves.
Of course, Marrow. But you know that appearances can sometimes be deceiving.
Ach, jetzt reden wir zum ersten Mal mit einem von denen. Aha.
Who were the victims?
The 2 men here, both shot. The stat fellow was Brian Vercotti, a well-known ruffian. The other, Kenneth Butler, a jeweller by trade.
You spoke of statements. You have witnesses?
Well, I was there, so I gave my own statement. And then there were 2 other witnesses who said they saw the killer Chapman. Mr. Turner, a gentleman who lives in that flat over there. And Polly Powell, A flower seller who was over at the far side of the street.
Also niemand, der wirklich... Also, ja. Ja gut, der aus dem Fenster, naja.
So, Constable Marrow, I should be delighted to hear your testimony.
I was standing at the north side of Half Moon Street. That was the side that you came from.
But you would have been unable to observe this part of the street, where we are standing now.
That is correct. But I saw the two victims slowly enter Half Moon Street, and then shortly after, the fireworks started. A few minutes after that, the fellow chapman rushed towards me and ran into Half Moon Street.
Please continue.
I didn't pay attention, but suddenly I heard a woman's cries and police whistles on the other side of Half Moon Street. I rushed over there and I saw the two dead bodies on the ground. When I reached Whitechapel Street, I saw Leighton Chapman. He'd been caught by two police constables.
Ich finde, Police Constable hört sich viel geiler an als Policeman oder Police Officer. Naja, aber er ist ja nur rausgelaufen aus der Gasse. Vielleicht ist er weggelaufen von den Mördern.
Did you hear the shots?
I didn't hear any shots. The fireworks were all over the sky. They were so loud I couldn't hear anything else.
What were the fireworks in honor of, Constable?
Well, today's Queen Victoria's birthday, Mr. Holmes.
Ah, yes, I appear to have lost track of the days. It is May now, of course.
Also es war wirklich ein Feuerwerk. Ich habe verstanden, ich habe das Wort Feuerwerk als Synonym für Schießerei verstanden.
Constable Marrow, what else caught your attention while you were running through Half Moon Street?
I saw nothing but rats, and I took the time to light every corner with my lamp.
Did you happen to look up at Mr. Turner's window when you were on Half Moon Street at that time?
Yes, I saw that the window was open, but no one was there. It was dark in the room.
Okay, also hat auf jeden Fall von dort einer geschossen.
Your statements have been of great value to me.
Da hat doch locker dann von da oben einer geschossen, als ob der Junge das war.
The bullet struck his head. This man didn't stand a chance.
Aha, ein Schlüssel.
This is an ordinary key. I wonder what kind of door it opens.
Eine Tür mit einem Schloss natürlich. Na, ist das grün? Oh, haben wir doch noch nicht alles gesehen. Ach so, Hardcore-Modus, ganz vergessen. Holzstück.
A piece of wood that has stuck between the cobblestones. Let us take a closer look.
Ein Stückchen Fensterrahmen. Nein, ich hab's übersprungen. Was haben wir denn? Was ist das? Gut, dass wir das jetzt haben. Ein Stück Holz, das neben der Leiche... Ach so. Okay, das war alles. Na gut.
Brian Vercotti suffered greatly. What a terrible way to die.
Aha. Der hat...
He tried to stop the bleeding with his hand. Death was not instant. The bullet penetrated his stomach, a dreadful wound.
Ist nicht jede Wunde dreadful?
A tattoo from Westgate Prison. Vercotti must have done some time there.
Jo, jetzt gehen wir gleich ins Gefängnis und befragen jeden.
A fairly long pole with a forked end.
Gegenstand von Interesse, okay, das ist also für später wichtig.
Good evening, Mr. Turner.
I heard Constable Marrow reply to you as Mr. Holmes. Are you that detective gentleman? I've heard of you. And well, I know things about this evening.
Excellent. Might we hear your story?
Erstmal might we see your body. Komisch, im Gesicht gibt es normalerweise immer irgendwas zu gucken. Orden, achso. Balaklava, Krimkrieg, was? Baklava? Okay, also er mag Süßigkeiten. Naja gut, er scheint wahrscheinlich ein, ja, wird wohl ein ehrwürdiger Mann sein. Braucht Stütze, schwaches Bein, hinkt. Was denn noch? Fehlende Knöpfe. Ach so, Arm. Ah, gut.
Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
I was already in bed when the fireworks started. A few moments after, I clearly heard 2 gunshots from outside.
Please continue.
I quickly got up and I grabbed the lamp from my nightstand and I rushed towards the window. I looked down and I saw 2 bodies. And there was a man with a gun who was standing nearby.
Where exactly?
Well, near this body.
Did he notice you?
I don't think so. He rushed towards Whitechapel Street without looking around.
Mr. Turner, did you see anyone else in the street?
No, I saw no one but that man, the murderer, the fellow they caught.
Were the 2 shots you heard consecutive?
Yes, there was a very short pause between them, and they sounded different somehow. It seemed to me that the second shot was louder than the first.
That is an interesting comment.
Okay, aber der eine war auch näher dran. Um 1 Meter näher dran war er an dem Fenster. Nein, wahrscheinlich waren es da 2 verschiedene Waffen, ne?
Mr. Turner, what were your actions after you stepped up to the window?
I was afraid that the man with a gun might return, so I stayed close to the window till I saw the policeman coming in the Half Moon from Whitechapel. Then I walked out to tell them everything I saw.
You have helped us a great deal, Mr. Turner.
Mr. Holmes,
Nein, kein Bruder. Das wird interessant zu hören, was der sagt. High Class Thornton Shoe Repairs. Okay. Mal kurz gucken, was hier so ist. Die Frau befragen wir natürlich.
This mirror is turned towards Half Moon Street.
Aha.
Mrs. Powell?
What do you want?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting the police with their investigation of the crime that took place this evening.
Well, I've already gave my testimony, but very well.
Die sieht genauso aus wie diese Mary Blackwood oder Black irgendwas. Diese Frau da, die mit dem Seemann den Mann umgebracht oder... Also die ist das auf jeden Fall. Da habe ich keine Zweifel. Sie ist der Mörder. Ja, ja.
Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
Yes. I was selling my flowers as usual, and then the fireworks began, in honour of Queen Victoria. I enjoyed those. But then, all of a sudden, a young lad ran out of Half Moon Street and stopped just by me. He had a gun in his hand. He was like a ghost, and all covered in blood. It was dark, but I could see him, because of the flashes from the fireworks.
And then?
I screamed as loud as I could. I knew that a policeman should be on duty in the vicinity. He had no time to escape. 2 constables got him. Then another constable came out from the very same street, and I heard him talking of a horrible murder.
Warte mal, der Constable kam aus derselben Richtung wie wir ursprünglich und der Junge... Ach so, ich dachte, der Junge wäre da lang geflohen, wo wir ursprünglich herkamen, aber das ist dann... Habe ich mich falsch erinnert?
Mrs. Powell, did you hear the gunshots?
I'm not sure. You know, what with the fireworks?
Das kann man aber doch trotzdem unterscheiden, oder?
Did you see anyone else leaving Half Moon Street prior to or at the time of the crime?
No, sir, I did not. Even with all the fireworks, I was very attentive, as I'm always on the lookout for customers.
Jo, von
My
denen gibt es hier
thanks to you,
zahlreich.
Mrs.
Welche?
Powell.
Kann man nach da hinten hingehen? Nein, kann man nicht. ja, befragen wir erstmal den Bruder von dem Jungen. Und machen wir erstmal ein paar Herleitungen in der Zwischenzeit. Übereinstimmende Aussagen. Was? Perfekt, das passt zu gar nichts. Mr. Turners Aussage. Mr. Turner hat ausgesagt, dass er an einem Fenster gestanden hat. Das widerspricht jedoch Constable Marrows Aussage, dass niemand am Fenster gesehen... Ach, stimmt. Ah. Oh, ich hätte noch andere Sachen machen können, Herleitungen, aber egal. Erstmal den Jungen befragen, der hat bestimmt gerade...
Mr. Holmes, whatever brings you here so late at night?
I'm interested in the case of young Leighton Chapman. He was arrested earlier this evening and accused of a double murder.
I beg your pardon? That case is quite clear to the police. Or are there any new facts that we don't know about?
Who knows, Inspector?
Look, you are free to investigate, of course, Mr. Holmes. Chapman was arrested with a revolver in his possession, which you can find in the evidence room. The suspect himself is in custody.
Did you find anything else on his person?
A few personal belongings. Nothing particular, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Lestrade.
Ich finde es gut, wie der Lestrade nicht so viel von Lestrade hält im Endeffekt, weil die Polizei für ihn ja Idioten sind, aber trotzdem sind sie immer freundlich. Na, gucken wir mal an. Was haben wir hier? Leighton's
So this is
Revolver.
the gun that Leighton was holding when he was caught by the police. It is a Webley revolver, a reliable weapon.
Wie einfach ist denn das in England eigentlich gewesen, Waffen zu bekommen?
It seems as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder.
Ja, 2 Schüsse fehlen.
2 out of the 6 shells have been fired. There were 2 shots. A cheap watch, bought with his own money, no doubt.
Der hatte Geld?
These cigarettes are filled with cheap tobacco. Nothing interesting.
Okay, nichts besonders Interessantes, außer dass die Waffe 2 Kugeln weniger hatte. Also warum hatte er die Waffe in der Hand, wenn das wirklich die Mordwaffe sein sollte?
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
Ach, wie alt ist der denn, Alter? Der sieht ja aus wie 30.
Good evening, Mr. Chapman.
Who are you? I've got nothing to say. It's all a mistake.
Calm down, Leighton. I have come here to help you. To find out if you truly are innocent, as your younger brother Wiggins has told me.
My brother? You know him? Then that means you're...
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, blimey. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell you everything.
Das ist doch der Typ von aus dem Gewächshaus. Ist er doch nicht in den Knast gekommen. Hat sich eine Narbe zugelegt und die Haare etwas verändert. Tiefe Narbe. Gelegentliche Schlägereien, aufgewachsen auf der Straße. Nichts Besonderes für einen Straßenjungen, würde ich sagen. Vor kurzem hat er sich geschlagen und er hat Widerstand geleistet. Hitzkopf. Ja gut. Büroangestellter? Was? Ich dachte, er ist ich dachte, er ist immer noch auf der Straße. Gut, dass der im selben Gefängnis war wie der eine Tote, das hat jetzt, glaube ich, auch noch nicht so viel zu bedeuten, weil in dem Gefängnis sind ja wahrscheinlich alle, wie viele Gefängnisse gibt es denn in London? Wahrscheinlich nur das und vielleicht ein anderes.
Good. Tell me your account of what happened.
I left my work and I hurried up to see the fireworks in Whitechapel. I was late, so I decided to cut through Half Moon Street. I saw the first fireworks light up in the sky. I bumped into a constable on a corner before entering Half Moon. Then suddenly, what with all the firework flare, I saw 2 men. They were both lying flat in the middle of the street. I stopped where I was. I thought about turning back to the police, but as I was thinking of that, I saw a third person. He was leaning over the body that was furthest from me. The second I saw him, he raised his head and he stared at me. In a flash, I saw his gun, but he made a dash for it instead and he escaped through Whitechapel Street.
So you might still have had time to return to the constable.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I approached the bodies just to see if they were still alive. I saw that one had blood pumping out of his stomach. He was dying. It was horrible. The second one was already dead. He had a hole in his head. He was holding a gun in his hand, though. I took it. And then I followed the third man.
Ach so, also hat der eine vielleicht einen Mord begangen, die Waffe dagelassen.
Interesting. Pray, continue.
I turned a corner, and I saw the man standing in the middle of the street. He seemed to be in some sort of panic. And then, Mr. Holmes, something strange happened. I told the police and they laughed at what I said, but I swear to you, my words are true. I started running towards him. But then I was blinded by a flash. It was so bright that I hardly saw anything for a good dozen seconds. But I kept running forward. As I arrived in Whitechapel, I heard a woman screaming. And then I was caught by the police. But there wasn't a trace of that man. Of course, then they found a gun and all that blood. I couldn't see the murderer escaping and all that mess. Perhaps I was still half-blinded at that moment.
A thrilling account, my young man.
Was ist das für was ist? Ob die Frau da irgendwie mit im Spiel ist? Weil vielleicht hat die ja den einen rausrennen sehen und hat das einfach niemandem erzählt.
Leighton, are you able to describe the person whom you saw standing in Half Moon Street?
Well, I wasn't able to see his face at all. It was too dark, and he was too far away. I could see his silhouette.
And what about that?
Nothing so special. He was wearing a jacket. He was quite average in size and his weight.
I see. Was there anything else that struck you at the time?
No. But perhaps it's strange, but I can't remember the sound of his footsteps as he was running away. Perhaps it was because of the fireworks or the surprise of me seeing him.
Leighton, I confess I am puzzled. Why should a young lad like you take a gun from the hands of a dead man and set off in pursuit of a probable killer?
I know. I keep wondering that, but at the time it was like a reflex. A criminal ought to be arrested, and he was armed.
You were willing to risk your life. That was a little foolish, unless you wanted revenge.
No, Mr. Holmes. I was just being brave and stupid.
Boah, das hat doch nichts mit Turner zu tun. Eher, dass es einer... Boah.
I'm sure that you were, but I believe that you may have recognized one of the victims, Brian Vercotti. You knew that gentleman well, did you not?
However could you know that?
You have a typical tattoo of the Westgate Brotherhood upon your hand. I observed exactly the same mark upon Mr. Vercotti. You came to know him from your sharing a past prison sentence. Am I correct, Mr. Chapman?
Oh, God. You're right, Mr. Holmes.
Sherlock trifft auch immer nur zufällig die Leute, die man perfekt an ihren äußerlichen Merkmalen einer anderen Person zuordnen kann. Stellt euch vor, das wären alles neutrale Dummies. Ob er dann auch die Geschichten von Leuten so einfach erraten könnte?
Would you tell me a little about Brian Vercotti?
We were convicted for a robbery. Once in prison, both of us joined one of these fraternities. During that year, we tried to help each other out, you know?
You were quite young then, I believe.
Yes, Mr. Holmes, we were. We'd only stolen a pound of meat. After we were released and when I saw what my little brother had become, I decided to work towards living an honest life.
And Vercotti?
He had a hard time. His sister had died in a Whitechapel dispensary while he was in prison. He had no family anymore. Our paths split. He fell back into crime.
So you lost him?
Yes. And for around 2 years, I heard no news of him at all.
Also
We shall see you soon, young man.
Das könnte echt Rache sein, ne? Erfragen. Achso, ich muss nochmal mit dem Polizisten reden. Ja, bla 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 bla, neue Personen. Großer grüner Mystiker. Einer der sinnlosesten Charaktere des letzten Falles. Haben wir noch ein paar... Ah ja. 2 Opfer. Unterschiedliche Schüsse. Was? Oh, das darunter habe ich noch nicht gesehen gerade. Doppelmord, ja. Mehr Hinweise. Alte Bekannte. Ja, das passt so. Hä, was? Was? Persönliches Motiv. Es könnte ein persönliches Motiv geben. Bisher klingt das eher weniger so. Vor allem, wenn der Junge uns um Hilfe bittet und wenn das so also aus dem Kontext des Falls heraus ergibt sich schon, dass der wahrscheinlich nicht selbst schuld ist. Die Person, die Chapman in seiner Aussage beschreibt, entstammt seiner eigenen Fantasie, um von seiner eigenen Schuld abzulenken. Das glaube ich aber jetzt eher nicht, ne? Die Zeugenaussagen und die Tatwaffe deuten klar auf einen möglichen Täter hin. Okay, naja. Mr. Turner konnte Unterschiede zwischen den 2 Schüssen hören, weil in Wahrheit 3 Schüsse abgefeuert wurden. Zuerst ein einzelner und direkt auch 2 gleichzeitige Schüsse. Aber hier beim oberen können wir noch was herausfinden. Schusswechsel nachstellen. Ja, das machen wir dann auch noch. Aber nicht mehr in dieser Folge. Das Spiel speichert hoffentlich da unten links gerade, weil ich werde gleich die Aufnahmesitzung beenden, weil ich den Rest mir übrig lasse für das nächste Mal. Ich glaube, das ist ein ganz guter Punkt hier, um aufzuhören, weil jetzt müssen wir gleich wieder zurück in die Straße und mal ein bisschen mit dem Mann reden, die Wohnung von dem Mann durchsuchen und den Schusswechsel nachstellen und so weiter und so fort. Wir haben lange nicht mehr geschossen. Naja. Oder? Haben wir das letzte Mal, wann? In der Mine mit dem verschwundenen Zug? Ich glaube, das war das, oder? Seitdem konnte ich mich nicht mehr an einen Schuss erinnern. Naja, wie auch immer. Ich bedanke mich für eure herzliche Aufmerksamkeit. Funktioniert aber andersrum genauso gut der Spruch. Und wir hören uns morgen wieder. Vorausgesetzt, ihr werdet nicht sinnlos eines Mordes bezichtigt und von Scotland Yard festgehalten. In dem Fall ruft einfach mich, denn die Erfahrung ist ja wohl mittlerweile völlig auf meiner Seite und ich würde euch ganz ohne Probleme aus den Gewahrsam der Polizei rausholen. Vorausgesetzt, es gibt 10 Zeugen, die für euch argumentieren. Denn das würde auf jeden Fall helfen, sagen wir so. Und bitte macht nichts Schlimmes, was mit Raupen zu tun hat, dann wäre ich auch raus. Bis morgen. Ciao. Ach so, habe ich die Bewertung wieder vergessen? Das ist mir schon zum 2. Mal passiert, glaube ich, in 4 Folgen. Falls ich sie nicht vergessen habe, dann habe ich sie jetzt einfach 2-mal erwähnt. Doppelt so gut. Tschüss.